It is a great day to be alive in Pittsburgh, PA. Happy Halloween, everybody. It's Kaboly+Mack. Good morning, friends, yinzers, countrymen. Kaboly has decided to grace us with his presence. People don't like when you show up late, Kaboly. They don't like it. They don't like it.
You know what I don't like?
You were busy this morning, though, right?
You know what I don't like when you race home and you eat a piece of string cheese, and these damn things are impossible to open.
Not really. You just pull the little tab
Yeah, but
apart.
some of them, just like those little creamer packets, some of them don't
I
have
know
the
you like the
lift.
creamer.
Some of them don't have the lift, so it's really hard.
First world problems, kabooms. Welcome into the show, everybody. Be sure you're following on social media at Kaboly+Mack. We gave away, or we're attempting to give away that Yoli's gift certificate. I reached out to the person whose name we drew. If we don't hear from that person in like a week or so, we're gonna have to just draw another name, give it to somebody else.
Yeah,
No, not you.
You know what we'll do? We'll do something early, like page 1, sheet 1, whatever.
Page one sheet. I have no idea what the hell you're
Did
talking
you
about.
tell me pick 2 numbers last time, a 7 and an 8? I'll pick a 1 and a 1.
Oh, okay. I got you. I had no idea what you meant by that. Happy Halloween to everybody. We appreciate you jumping in. Do you have any costume worked up for today, Kaboom? You got anything?
No.
Why not? Why ain't you having fun? We could go with I could go with the Scream mask, huh? What do you think of that? Scream mask, since this has been so damn scary.
I guess the best you're going to get from me is, and I've done it before. I can't get it over my head.
There you go.
Oh,
It's perfect. Just leave it with the mask hanging off like that.
yeah, I guess. Wait.
You look like Mason Rudolph getting dragged off the field.
Wait, let me. That's about the
You
best
can't
you're
even
going to
get it on your big melon
Well, of
anymore.
course, it's like a 7 and a quarter.
I could go with the fireman's hat. Put out the fire on the defensive side of the ball. What do you think of that, huh? This is just crap I literally grabbed out of the
That ain't going to
kid's
happen.
toy bin in the basement.
I'll just do this.
Yeah, cover up your face. That's a good idea. Thanks to Southwest Greens for supporting the show. They're the best. You're looking for a yard that never needs to be mowed, watered, or fertilized. Put the mask down. You don't need to hold that the whole time. Just be distracting. Although to keep you from playing with your phone. Get to southwestgreenspa.com. Tell Jake that Kaboly+Mack sent you. They've got grass that never needs to be mowed, watered, or fertilized because it ain't real grass. But here's the best part. It looks, acts, feels like real grass, even though it's artificial. No more spending hundreds of dollars watering the yard all summer long, every single month. No more having to mow and spray it with fertilizer and all that nonsense. No, get a beautiful yard, the best looking yard in the neighborhood with the least amount of maintenance. Go to southwestgreenspa.com. We appreciate their support of the show. Where should we start? You got a big boy car today, right? New car. That's why you're late today.
Had to go pick up the car.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't say new. I would say certified pre-owned.
Well,
I don't have
okay.
I don't have Mac money, so
What'd you get?
Got a Ram, Dodge Ram. And I had about 7 people saying, "Yeah, now I can hit you up for a if I need something moved."
Yeah,
So,
you're going to be the truck guy now. People are going to call you when they need something.
Yeah, certified pre-owned. I'm not buying nothing new.
No.
So, they're trying to.
They take care of you?
They just add some stuff on at the end there, and I'm like, nah.
What'd they want to add on?
Protection this, gap this. Only thing I know about gap is, running the football and offensive line play. Gap
Control.
I don't know. I'm like, nah, I'm good with the gap. So that was it. By the time I got there, got back, walked in here, and you're yelling at me, and I literally walked in the door at 10:59.
Well, I mean, do better with your timing, I guess. I'm not. It's just people expect you to be on time, okay? And when you're not,
people should realize that's not going to happen.
Great, yeah. Way to deliver big for the audience. We appreciate it.
Well, some people have responsibilities rather than playing Shabuzi. Jelly Roll. Did you hear that, by the way? Jelly Roll, speaking of country Y108 and stuff,
Yeah, Morgan Wallen coming to town next June.
I don't know
Just
who that
announced the
is.
other day.
Jelly Roll.
Wait, hold on. Press pause for just a second. You don't know who Morgan Wallen
I've
is?
heard the name, but it doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Jelly Roll, I heard him talking about how he wanted to partake in WrestleMania, and he told Triple H, if I lose 100 pounds, will you let me do it? He goes, yeah, 100 pounds. So WrestleMania comes along, and he only lost 75. So he goes, I'll get 100 by SummerSlam, and he got 100 by SummerSlam.
Wow.
And Tripp says, okay, good for you. You're in the match.
Yeah, credit to that guy. He's lost like 250 pounds or something over the last couple of years.
That's motivation there. Would you lose 100 pounds? Well, let me ask myself. Would I lose 100 pounds to be in SummerSlam or WrestleMania?
Well, could you do it?
Depends on how much you're paying me.
No, they just tell you no. You can be in the match. We're not going to pay you anything. You just get to be in a SummerSlam match.
Now, I know Triple H is a big subscriber to the podcast and watches it all the time. Right. You ever need me to take a chair shot? No, I'm pretty reasonable. Maybe $500 a shot.
They don't really do chair shots anymore.
In the back, they do.
Yeah.
I did that before.
So we'll get into a bunch of stuff today. We'll talk to Kevin Bowen of 107.5 or 105.7 The Fan. 107.5. Yeah, I got my numbers backwards. In Indianapolis for a little bit of a Colts perspective on this thing. And some just exquisite camera work by you at the Terrell Austin media session yesterday.
Who cares? I mean, I'm literally back, the quote, the great movie, The Shawshank Redemption, I'll cast you down with the sodomites. I'm back there with, way back there because there's 117 Post-Gazette people in front of me. You're lucky I can get that far, but I do need a new phone. It's kind of
we'll let everybody hear what Terrell Austin had to say in the 8 seconds of shaky video that you shot because lots of people have been talking about it this week.
Yeah, you have to understand. I had to ask, turn the camera on, zoom past some people's big heads from 200 yards away, and hopefully he answers me. And I may or may not have been questioned about my how I asked the question, but I don't.
Well, we'll get to that in a couple minutes because I didn't hear how you asked the question. I just heard the answer. Plus, you wrote an interesting piece about Aaron Rodgers this morning, and there's a really good quote in there from one guy in particular I want to let everybody in on. But before we do anything, the Ravens are coming. Kaboom. The Ravens are back. Lamar Jackson is back. 4 touchdowns last night. They just boat raced the Miami Dolphins. And there's a good chance. If you look at the Ravens' schedule now, they're going to be 7-5 by the time their first meeting with the Steelers rolls around. And the way things are going for the Steelers, they might be lucky to be 7-5 at that point. They meet the first weekend of December. This is exactly what we expected. This is nightmare fuel. Lamar Jackson coming back on a Thursday night and just dominating the Dolphins, who suck out loud. And Mike McDaniel is going to get fired, even though you made fun of me for it the other day. It's just a matter of time. This is exactly what we all expected. The Ravens are back. They have life. They just sat up in the casket like the Taker.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say fully they're back, but they definitely have life. It's hard for me to sit there and read into what they did against the Dolphins last night. I mean, we're talking about a miserable team. And if you look at it, the Steelers do have the Dolphins on their schedule here in December. So it's going to come down to, let's not face it, it's going to come down to that Week 18 game. Where is that? At home or is that? It's at home, right? Against first Baltimore. And they're going to have to win at least 1 of 2, if not 2 of 2. They go to 10-7 to have a chance here. I do believe. The good thing,
if you look at the way the schedule stacks up right now, Baltimore, they get the little mini bye now because they played on Thursday night. Then they go to Minnesota, which presumably will be J.J. McCarthy's first game back, I'd guess. Maybe
it's not an easy place to play, though.
I know, but then they get the Browns and the Jets and the Bengals, and before they come to Pittsburgh. So again, it's entirely likely, not just possible, but likely that the Ravens are coming to Pittsburgh the first weekend. Maybe it's the second weekend of December, whenever it is, week 14, 7-5. And the Steelers, who have the Colts, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Bears, and the Bills between now and then, are also lucky to be 7-5 at that point. So yeah, the last month of the season, the last 5 weeks are enormous because it's going to come down to can you beat Baltimore or not.
I think they'll split between the Colts and Chargers, take one or the other. That makes them,
Okay.
5-4.
Yep.
They'll beat Cincinnati. I do believe that. They'll be
Okay.
6-4. Then what, they got Chicago?
At Chicago, yeah.
I have, some reason I have a good feeling with that. 7-4.
Okay, 7-4.
Then they'll probably lose to Buffalo,
7-5.
7-5.
There you go.
Who's after Buffalo?
That's when
It's
they
gonna
play
be both. They're
Baltimore
gonna be
in Baltimore.
I mean, you could be both 7-5. Once again, I don't think the Ravens' run game looked particularly strong last night, even though Henry had 120. They were forcing him to get the ball. To me, Derrick Henry all of a sudden looking a little bit his age, even though I'm a huge fan. Should be first ballot Hall of Famer, and he went over 120 yards. He just looks like a click slow to me. I don't know. Did he look like that to you?
Maybe, but he hasn't had a lot of breakaway opportunities this year. I think once he starts to get a few more of those, maybe you're right. Maybe he's lost that quarter step on what he had at his peak. But I think if he gets some of those breakaway opportunities, we might see him step on the gas again. I knew this was going to happen. And
I
everybody,
just think
this
they
is what
need
we've
to
been
win.
dreading.
I just think they need to win one of the next two. Which one's going to hurt is definitely that Bengals one. That's the one they just gave away, I think. But if they would have won that Bengals game and went 5-1 at the time, even if they are 5-2 right now, you're feeling pretty good about it. Still, I am not ready to just pencil in the Ravens after what I saw last night. I still need to see a little bit more.
Okay. If the Steelers lose to the Colts in Indy not in Indy, if they lose to the Colts at Heinz Field on Sunday, they will be down to just a 1-game lead in the division.
Yeah, they'd have to
just
go
like
to
that.
They'd have to go to Los Angeles and win, which they do play the Chargers well out there. Maybe not the Rams. So
okay. Thanks to our friends at Impact HVAC. We appreciate them supporting the show as well. Get your furnace checked out before you're running it every single day, although it may be running a good bit already. Get it checked out. Make sure it's running in tip-top shape. Go to Impact HVAC PGH on Facebook or give them a call, 412-297-1852. That furnace check that is usually $79.99, you can get it for half the price, $39.99 right now. If you donate to Impact HVAC, a new article of children's clothing or a new kid's toy, they'll make sure it gets to the Foster Love Project just in time for the holidays. So get your furnace tuned up, do a little bit of good, knock a couple bucks off the price. Impact HVAC PGH on Facebook. You can message them there or give them a call, 412-297-1852. Nice piece you wrote about Aaron Rodgers and leadership today, and how it's not necessarily RELAX as it was 10 years ago in Green Bay, but it's more about stay the course. Everybody calm down. Calvin Austin III talked to you about it a little bit, saying he holds us to a standard. Losing's not good, but we're all right. We're going to get that shit. We're full steam ahead. There's no sulking with 8. He won't allow you. You got to be on your game with him. We're always getting pushed by him. So I think it was a really good look at Rodgers' ability to sort of steady the room, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. I am curious to see, because offense isn't the problem. Like, they keep bringing up the missed offsides call at the beginning of the third quarter against Green Bay and how that affected things. Again, I didn't see that. I saw just a defense that got beat by the same guy over and over and over again, or the same connection over and over again against Green Bay. Loved Kraft. And so my worry hasn't been about the amount of fight necessarily. I think that's a little bit of a straw man. That's a little bit of a smokescreen for the fact that they actually have more schematic issues on defense. But I thought it was a good look at how Rodgers has sort of tried to steady the room. I just don't know who does that on the other side of the ball right now. I know you're going to say Cam, but Cam's repeating all the same stuff Mike Tomlin said on Sunday night after the loss, which is, well, we just got to get better.
He is his mouthpiece. He is. He's the player's version of Mike Tomlin. If Tomlin needs something said, he goes through goes through Cam. But I think Rodgers, though, I think Rodgers transcends, offense, defense. I think he's more of a team guy. Even though he's pulled the receivers and the skill guys to get together, those other guys know who he is. Those other guys are around him. They had a Halloween party the other day, interacting as a team. So I think that's maybe more than ever. It's just not that dividing line of Aaron Rodgers is helping or the offense get past some of these low points. I
Yeah.
think he's helping the team in general just by how he comports himself.
I kind of look at it as a bit of a knock on the leadership that was here previous to Rodgers arriving, though, and some of those pieces are still around. Cam, TJ should be a leader. I know he's not very outspoken. Pat Fryermuth. You could kind of look at it.
Vocal.
You might look for whatever reason. Those guys, maybe their message wasn't resonating, or they needed somebody like Rodgers to come in and amplify it, maybe. But I think it says a lot that Rodgers walks in the door and instantly becomes that guy. I know he's been around the league forever, obviously, and people are going to listen to him inherently because he's a future Hall of Famer. But I don't know. It just makes me question, like, why was this message maybe not getting through in the past, and it's taken an Aaron Rodgers to walk in and get through to people?
Well, I'm sure it's been tried. I mean, I'm sure there's been other defensive players, but it's tough, man. When you have so much turnover on defense, you don't want to be that new guy coming and open your mouth. I mean, Patrick Queen is more vocal this year, but do you think he would have felt comfortable doing it last year when he's coming in and he's looking at Watt, he's looking at Hayward, and at the time he was looking at Fitzpatrick? He says, I got to know my role here a little bit, right, too? I mean, you really can't go out your way and talk like that. I don't think TJ's a guy that leads by his words. He leads by example. Who was first one on the practice field yesterday? TJ Watt, by far. Him and Herbig. So, I mean, he does it through his actions. Other people lead in different ways. But if you're worried about leadership, it's where I have a tough disconnect. It's a disconnect for me. Leadership's important, but is it? These are professional athletes, man. If you can't motivate yourself, if you can't go out there and play for the team, your family, the organization, your paycheck, maybe you shouldn't be here.
Yeah, and I kind of look at, I get what you're saying, but I also look at it as you got to have somebody who's a steadying influence at times, somebody that, when shit's going down, right? Everybody's eyes turn to this guy, and the way he reacts is the way it then ripples out through the room. And Cam is one of those guys. TJ is one of those guys. Pat is one of those guys. Aaron Rodgers comes in, and it seems like the response to his ability to say, hey, like I said, RELAX, stay the course. We'll see it in action maybe this weekend. But it's worked, I think, on the offensive side of the ball. We were really worried about some aspects of this team offensively in the first couple weeks. And I think just saying, whoa, everybody pump the brakes. Let's find our chemistry, find what works for us, has allowed the offense to sort of find itself through the first half of the season. And now it's to the point where I don't want to say I don't worry about the offense at all. There's still some issues here and there. We could talk about wide receiver 2. We could talk about whether they figured out how to utilize all those tight ends, all that kind of stuff. But I worry this much about the offense in comparison to the defense.
I think, you know what? I think Jalen Ramsey is that guy comparative to Rodgers, that veteran, that multi-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, or maybe Hall of Famer. But the thing with him is he doesn't speak very much to us.
Right.
So I don't know what he says behind closed doors. The only inkling I got of what he said was after maybe the Bengals game when Joey Porter was chirping about the refs. He's basically telling him to shut the hell up, man. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. I mean, he did not really address Porter like that. He addressed the elephant in the room. So maybe he is that guy on the defensive side. But once again, that's tough for a guy to come into a defensive room with the defensive minded head coach with TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and say, hey, no, listen to me. That cannot
I
be
think
easy.
I think they needed it though. Like it's crazy to me that a team with, and I'm not going to make this all about Mike Tomlin again, but a team with a coach who's been in the league for 18 years as a head coach, who has the cachet that he has amongst guys in the league, would still need that strong a leadership force to come in from the outside to sort of steady things or try to steady things. So I don't know. Credit to Rodgers for doing it on the offensive side. I think we're seeing the results.
I don't think he's trying to do it, though. I think that's just him from the 21 years in this league now. He's just being him, and the other guys are saying, whoa, this is a little different, man. Like Calvin Austin. I mean, I didn't have any plans of writing a story about Aaron Rodgers and how he's approached this until Calvin Austin just started. We were just BSing about stuff, and he's like, wham, wham. I'm like, oh, man, there's some good stuff coming from Calvin Austin. So you dig a little deeper into that, and that's what you come from. But I don't know if he tries to do it. I don't think he says, hey, I'm going to make it sound like I don't really care about what happened, ride that roller coaster wave. I think that's just how he's programmed now from 20 years in the league.
Maybe, but it's work. I think, like I said, on the offensive side of the ball, with Rodgers as that voice, it's working. They need to find a way to get that over on the other side of the ball, which probably starts with not giving up 30 points 2 weeks in a row.
Once again, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just different. I'm just not a huge leader guy. It's good to have one, but I don't think you need one. But that's just me. I don't know where you stand on that.
I think it's important to have strong voices in the room because it doesn't have to be contrived. It doesn't have to be guys saying, I'm that guy. No, I think in a lot of cases it happens naturally. Like you're pointing out with Rodgers, guys are that calming voice or presence when it seems like everything else is chaotic around you. They're the ones that say, okay, it's all good. We're going to be fine. And it just, maybe it is Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side of the ball, and we just haven't seen that bear fruit.
I mean, Elliott was a talker.
Yeah.
I'm sure but obviously he's not around anymore. The whole secondary is different, right? The linebacker crew's different. The interior defensive lines. So Highsmith is not a guy who's going to go get in your face. Herbig's not going to be a guy. So you're looking at Watt, Hayward, Queen, and maybe Ramsey. I mean, but when you got a guy that's been here 15 years like Hayward, you pretty much defer to him, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, none of it matters, leadership or any of that other stuff, if you're just getting the hell beat out of you by the opposing offense, which is what's happening.
But hey, we tend to forget this. They did play pretty good defense for 2 quarters against Green Bay. They played pretty shitty defense for 2 quarters too, but there is some sort of glimmer of hope. We tend to forget that first half when they pretty much shut them down.
Well, I just look at it as a total body of work at this point. We're almost halfway through the season, 7 games in, right? This is week 9 now. So we're officially, after this weekend, halfway through the season. And it's just to look at a defense that's 30th in the league in passing or 32nd in passing, 30th overall, and to see the meltdowns that they've had the last couple of weeks is what I think it's the body of work that has people worried, and rightfully so. Thanks to our friends at Higgins Painting for supporting the show. They've been fantastic. HigginsProfessional.com. Family-owned business here in the Pittsburgh area. Been getting it done since Don Higgins founded it over 40 years ago. And they'll do whatever you need. Maybe you need the drywall repaired before they do some painting. Maybe you just need a room done. Maybe you need the whole house done, inside and outside, interior, exterior painting, all the residential work you need done. Plus, if you own your own business, commercial, industrial, whatever it may be, they'll get it all done for you. Get a hold of them today at HigginsProfessional.com, 412-344-0480 if you want to give them a call, and they'll get you a free estimate. Tell you exactly what they can do for you, but the work is impeccable. Great customer service. Higgins Professional Painting. Check them out today at HigginsProfessional.com. Kaboly+Mack.com. Appreciate their support. So, as far as the defense being terrible, there's been lots of arguing this week, Mark, about who calls the defense. Mike Tomlin calls the defense? No, Terrell Austin calls the defense. Does Mike Tomlin chime in? How did you phrase the question so we know whether you phrased it correctly or not? Since apparently you got criticized for that.
I think I said something like, "There's a lot of outside chatter about who actually calls the plays on the field during game day. Could you clear that up for us?" And he had no clue what the hell I was talking about. What? Then I'm like, "Oh God."
Who calls the play?
No, you mean outside? Then I had to say like the fans or something. And I guess I probably shouldn't have said fans. I don't know if I said fans or not. Whatever. I know the answer to this. Most of us do know the answer to this.
Can we hear what Terrell Austin said first?
But it was such a hot button topic that everybody was like confused. I'm like, let me get this guy an opportunity to speak for himself, to tell everybody out there what truly goes on.
All right.
And if Mike wants to call something, he calls it, and that's how we roll. I mean, that's how it's been.
So he calls the plays, but if Mike wants to call something, he calls it, and then they roll like that, and that's the way it's been. I said it yesterday to somebody. I can't remember who I was talking to, but when I see Mike Tomlin over there with the little index card, I've told you about this before, and his little defensive play call sheet, and I see him talking into the headset a lot. Like there's no, and I'm not saying he's being a micromanager in this case, but there's nothing worse than a micromanager or somebody who feels like a boss that feels like they're going to jump in and tell you what to do all the time, especially for an experienced defensive coordinator like Terrell Austin. Now, people will point out, well, he hasn't been very good at his different stops. I get it. Terrell Austin, I think, has been fired from his last 2 or 3 jobs as a defensive coordinator. So you could probably argue that maybe he's not the best defensive coordinator in the world, but Mike Tomlin hired him. So Mike Tomlin should let him do his job. This has been something we've been talking about for 10 plus years now, since the end of the Dick LeBeau era, since Keith Butler left and told Aditi on the way out the door that Mike Tomlin was calling all the defenses. This is something we've been talking about forever. I think the catch here is that regardless of whether Mike Tomlin is calling every single play on defense, every single coverage, or just jumping into Terrell Austin's ears occasionally, as he described it there, it's still Mike Tomlin's defense, right? It's just Terrell making the calls on Sundays.
I'm sure. I mean, it's Mike Tomlin's defense, but like I said, when they're in that room on Monday and Tuesday, everybody's having input. But the thing is Tomlin probably has final say. Hey, this is what we're going to do. If Tomlin wants to go press man, if Tomlin wants to do X, Y, Z, ultimately it goes same thing with offense too. I mean, I really don't have any problem with Mike Tomlin as a head coach chiming in and saying occasionally, hey, blitz on this play. Hey, cover 2, man. Whatever. There's not many play calls you can make defensively, right? I don't have an issue with it being occasionally. Is it occasionally? I see what Terrell Austin says. He's sure the hell sound believable to me. Whatever he said was believable to me that, hey, I call the plays. It's always been like that. If Mike wants to chime in, he's going to chime in, period.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to this for me, regardless of who's calling the plays from down to down on defense. And like you said, this isn't as advanced as an offensive play call. I think I saw, who did I see do this? Was it AJ Hawk the other day on the McAfee show? Was kind of describing what a defensive play call sounds like. It was when McCarthy was on. Was it yesterday? Doesn't matter when it was. It was this week. Mike McCarthy was on.
It was yesterday.
They were talking about, what happens when it's noisy, if you can't hear, and Hawker made a good point. He said, well, you pick a defense and you call it if you can't hear what's being called. And it's like if an offensive play call is a paragraph, a defensive play call is like half a sentence. It's much shorter. So it doesn't matter what the play call is necessarily. I come back to what's the defense's game plan and scheme, and what are the adjustments that they're making going into the game on Sunday and then during the game? Like, that's the one thing that a lot of us haven't been satisfied with, is that when they start to get hit with things, they don't show an ability to adjust very quickly.
I just did some AI overview right now. An example of a call is 34 slant strong cover 4.
Yeah, that's now put that up against one of those classic Peyton Manning offensive play calls, right?
Yeah. Yeah, with the slide
that sounds
techniques
like
and every
gibberish.
Yeah, I mean, it's right. But, you know, I do believe we're in a world in football where we rely too much or expect too much out of the coaches. It's okay to just go out there and actually make a play. You know, that's permitted without a scheme dictating what type of plays you can make. You can go make an interception, make a tackle, not miss a tackle, beat the guy in front of you when there's not scheme involved. And I think there's not been enough of that.
Yeah, I'd
Just whipping
agree.
the guy in front of you. Just go make a play. You're a damn Pro Bowler. You're an all pro. You're making 20, 30, 40 million dollars a year. Go make plays.
So why haven't they? So here's the question then: why haven't they made those plays to this point yet this year? Other than what, a few pockets of the New England game, and you know, we haven't seen T.J. Watt really wreck or take over a game yet. We haven't seen Cam Hayward early in the season was swatting balls down at the line of scrimmage pretty often, but we haven't seen. I've seen Jalen Ramsey make some plays, right? But I haven't seen a ton of big plays made on that defensive side of the ball that make me go, ooh, okay, I can count on these guys to do that a couple times every week and maybe swing a game because of those plays. So why aren't they making them? A lot of people nationally are talking, well, they're getting old and slow. They're getting older. Yeah, no doubt. But there's still enough guys on that defense who aren't exactly running around with walkers that they should be able to make plays.
It's funny when they're old and they stink, and they're old and slow, but if they're older and good, they're like, hey, veterans.
Savvy vets.
Yeah, savvy vets. Funny how that term works. I don't know. Maybe it is a combination. Maybe I'm underselling or overselling, just go make a play, that teams are scheming to a degree to take some of their bigger players out. Maybe there needs to be more of a happy medium. But I'm just talking about critical parts in the game. Just go make a play. You know, beat somebody, make a tackle for loss, knock a ball down. But I think a lot of it does have to do with getting the ball. I mean, I just don't know where the answer is. When you're getting rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds, 2.3 seconds, how do you expect a defensive?
It's got to be. It's got to be in coverage. It's got to be in coverage.
Yeah, I mean, you have to force them into third and longs where they have to get down the field a little bit longer, which makes your first and second downs more critical. But how many times have they faced 3rd and 10s? You know, you hear first, 3rd down. Was that Larry Richard?
Yeah.
We got 3rd down.
You got to get a little growl in the back of the throat.
And
3rd down.
I mean, that's the case. I mean, maybe I don't know. If I knew, let me tell you something. They would know before me, and they don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm worried about, especially going up against this Colts offense, which is first in the league in overall yardage, but pretty well balanced on both sides of the ball. An MVP candidate running the ball. Daniel Jones has found himself under center. Regardless of what you're doing on Sunday, any other day of the week, or maybe, heck, Sunday afternoon as well for the Steelers game. Get down to Archie's on Carson, Pittsburgh's best place for food, drinks, and sports. 80-cent wing nights. Yeah, 80-cent wing nights, Monday through Thursday nights down at Archie's, plus great sandwiches, burgers, flatbread pizzas, and, of course, whatever you want to drink, including ice-cold iron and IC Light on tap. We love it. Best wings in the burg. Archie's on Carson down on the south side. If you can't be at Heinz Field on Sunday, it's the next best place to watch the game. Check them out. We appreciate Arch supporting the show. All right, so we had to get an Indianapolis perspective, and you know they're feeling good out there. Kaboom. We thought let's go to somebody that's in the building every day. And that's what we did. Kevin Bowen, who works at the Fan in Indy, does their morning show, had to be in the facility at this time right now as we're recording this on Friday morning, if you're not watching it live. So we actually chatted to him yesterday afternoon, full disclosure. We talked to him yesterday afternoon, and he gave us some insight on what exactly the Colts have been doing well, how it's been working. We know lots of people in Indy, but we said, what the hell? Let's get a guy who's in the building nearly every single day from the Fan Morning Show on 107.5 The Fan in Indianapolis. Kevin Bowen joining the show. Morning, Kev. How are you?
How we doing, boys?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're trying to figure out a way the Steelers don't get their asses kicked on Sunday. You guys are flying high. I've been listening to you a little bit this week on your show. There's very little reason for Colts fans not to feel good about this team right now. I guess there's some defensive numbers that maybe would have you worried just a little bit, but the offense obviously is clicking like one of the best, if not the best in the league. So let's start with things that may have Colts fans worried or that the Colts may have to think about coming to Pittsburgh on Sunday afternoon. What worries you or what may worry them the most?
Yeah, I don't think anything offensively, especially given where Pittsburgh is defensively right now. You flip over to the Colts side of the ball defensively. I would say their pass rush, to me, it's still a little bit too quiet, particularly because DeForest Buckner commands so many double teams. And I think their edge group, it's highly invested, ton of first-round picks, ton of money in there. Just hasn't gotten home maybe as enough for them. They're without their starting top corner, Javarius Ward, their outside corner. I thought at the start of the year this could be kind of a shadow game given Pittsburgh's personnel and DK Metcalf, but he's on injured reserve. He actually got injured in warmups, about the only thing that stopped the Colts so far this season. So that would be really the only ones. If you really want to nitpick, they've got maybe a kicker question from long distance. Maybe that's an advantage for Pittsburgh on paper, but outside of that, I'm not overly concerned about too much.
Kevin, I put this into Pittsburgh perspective, and if this is happening in Pittsburgh, 7-1, looking flying high, always looking for something negative. And if it was Pittsburgh, they'd be like, okay, when is Daniel Jones going to turn into Daniel Jones? Is he past that point in your eyes of turning into the guy we've known for so many years?
Honestly, my only question with Jones is does he get hurt? There is some injury history there. And I don't know, maybe I have PTSD about the Colts starting 5-2. They go to Pittsburgh. Cameron Hayward takes Quentin Nelson and just throws him back into Jacoby Brissett. And Brian Hoyer starts the next two games or came in that game. And Minkah Fitzpatrick picks 6. And that's really where that 2019 season derailed for the Colts after a 5-2 start. Now, Daniel Jones, I think, has played at a much higher individual level than Jacoby did that year. But boy, it's hard to nitpick anything. If you want to say, all right, what test maybe he hasn't passed, I would argue he hasn't been presented with hostile road environment. Maybe it's Sunday, maybe it's at Arrowhead after the bye week. Fourth quarters, they haven't really had many competitive fourth quarters. Arizona, he delivered. If you want to nitpick maybe the Rams, he didn't. I think that's kind of an overly nitpicky situation, but yeah, Daniel Jones and no questions. I can't believe I'm saying that right before Halloween, but I am.
What's the feeling? Are fans clamoring for the Colts to lock him up and make sure he doesn't leave? What's the feeling been towards Anthony Richardson? Has he officially been labeled the bust status? I know you mentioned warmups being a problem. He got hurt in warmups a couple weeks ago. So is the fan base out on Anthony Richardson completely? And are they ready to lock up Daniel Jones long term?
Yeah, I think you summarized it quite well. Richardson's currently on injured reserve, an orbital fracture in warmups a couple weeks back. No sign on when he will even return to be the backup this season. So he's under contract for one more year. I assume he'll be traded in the offseason if things continue to go down this path. And then with Jones, the question is probably more of franchise tag or long-term deal. They do have a couple of other notable players due for either new contracts or extensions. Jonathan Taylor is going to want to get paid again after the season he's having this season. But when the Colts have had their revolving door like they've had since, luck shocked the world, it started with Jacoby Brissett and then Rivers and then Wentz and then Matt Ryan and then Gardner Minshew and Joe Flacco. The list goes on and on. I think it's more of a question of, do you tag them or do you give them the long-term deal?
I know the Steelers have had issues at defensive line. bunch of young guys or an old guy like Cam Hayward, how good is this Colts? I mean, just put it in basic terms, how good is the Colts offensive line?
Yeah, it's probably the aspect we don't talk about enough. So I do think it's worth bringing up. Not only are they good, they've also been healthy. And, I know Pittsburgh is dealing with a couple offensive line injuries this week. It's amazing to see the weekly opponent seemingly having 1 to 2 O-linemen out, if not more. And the Colts have had their starting 5 together for all but one game. The only game missed was from their right guard, Matt Gonzalez, actually a Pittsburgh guy. So that's it, for 8 weeks, and they haven't had their bye week yet. So, I mean, that's pretty rare, I think, around the league to have that. And it's a unit that has 2 new starters, center and right guard, and Tanner Bortolini out of Wisconsin at center, and then Gonzalez at right guard. And they've really stepped in, and you could make the argument they've been better than the guys that they've replaced as a tandem there. They still have the same old Quentin Nelson at left guard. Braden Smith has actually done a decent job on TJ Watt in his career. Obviously, a lot of help goes into that, and did a good job on Max Crosby a few weeks back. And then Bernard Ryman at left tackle has been a really good find as a 3rd-round pick. So, yeah, their O-line, that's probably the one question you would have. What this league always humbles you. What could humble the Colts? Maybe some offensive line injuries, which they haven't had yet.
You mentioned the quarterback purgatory, Kevin. You guys were in Indy for a while after Andrew Luck walked away and before this year. When Colts fans look at the Steelers, we've been in a similar situation since Ben Roethlisberger retired, quarterback purgatory. But it feels like that's the one thing that we've been able to count on offense consistently week to week so far this season, even if he's not necessarily putting up massive numbers. Aaron Rodgers has had a 4-touchdown game. He started to find a little bit of that mobility again that he had before he left Green Bay, and certainly before the Achilles injury. What's the view of what the Colts defense may or may not be up against on Sunday afternoon against Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I thought last year when they faced the Jets and Rodgers, I should have paid more attention to the Achilles, but I just thought he looked like he was walking up the 18th hole. Now I feel like the few times I've watched Pittsburgh, I don't feel that. And again, that I should have given more credit to 2 years removed from the Achilles versus /New York Jets being the New York Jets. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit more. I mean, if you look at the Colts quarterbacks this season, Rodgers is going to rank right, close to the top, frankly, of quarterbacks they've faced. They've not faced a murderous row of quarterbacks. And really, Herbert and Stafford put up some big numbers. I believe Stafford a season high, Herbert a career high. So that is, again, going back to our defensive concerns. I do think you have some there. I've been saying to our audience all week long, I think Jaylen Warren's a really, really good player, and I think could have some impact. We'll obviously see about Freiermuth's health, but tight ends have been known to give the Colts a little bit of trouble here. So that's the thing. The Colts have been a bend but don't break defense, and that's not a phrase Lou Anarumo, who comes over from Cincinnati, wants to be about. Again, corner personnel, effective pass rush. Those are the 2 things that have been a concern. And without Travarius Ward as their top corner, I would throw the ball to DK Metcalf a whole lot and see how the Colts plan to attack that.
I might make Mac laugh here, or at least smile here, with the next guy I'm going to ask about, Ty Warren being a Penn State guy and Mac pretending to be a Penn State guy.
What are you pretending to be? What are you talking about?
How much you see?
Do I have to dig the Bachelors out and show it off?
Yeah, that and $10 you can buy a burger, man. First of all, I'm shocked that he wasn't the number 1 tight end, but that's beside the point. Could you have expected anything more from this guy through the first half of the season?
Yeah, I probably don't need to remind your audience or, our audience what Tyler Warren did in college, but he's done all of it here in the NFL. He's been, in my opinion, he deserves to be up there with Offensive Rookie of the Year. I get that we get into those awards, and if you play in New York and you play quarterback, you're probably going to win it. So Jackson Dart will probably win it if he keeps it up at some level. But he's been great, and Shane Steichen is obsessed with utilizing him in a variety of ways. So get used to some unique way, though they will use Warren on Sunday, whether it's as a runner, whether it's as a thrower, whether it's in the backfield. They will do something unique with Warren. They've done it every week with him. So I think he should garner some all-pro attention at tight end. I think he's been that good. They're very balanced as a pass-catching group. They actually haven't had a 100-yard receiver through 8 weeks, which is kind of shocking considering they lead the league in yards. So it's been a very balanced group. But Warren, I think, has lived up to everything he showed last year at Penn State.
So
Well,
you're gonna real quick, Mac. So they literally have a tight end that they're going to use in a unique way, and actually use them in a unique way.
That
Boy,
is
where's that
it's a hell
sound
of a
from?
concept.
that is accurate. Yeah,
Where have
something
I-
that might not be happening there.
And they don't need 6 of them on the roster to do so. That's amazing. That's just wild. So you mentioned the balance in the target share amongst the receivers, Kevin. I mean, the offense in general is just very balanced. You've got an MVP caliber running back. You mentioned Warren. You mentioned the distribution amongst the wide receivers. Colts are 6th in the league in passing offense, 6th in the league in rushing offense. If the Steelers defense is able to get it together just a little bit, and that's doubtful at this point, but let's say they're able to slow down Jonathan Taylor. Is this a spot where Shane Steichen is comfortable if he has to? Or let's say this thing opens up and gets into a little bit of a shootout. I know the Colts can score. The Steelers' offense hasn't been particularly a problem, really. It's been the defense more so. If this opens up and they have to put the game on Daniel Jones' shoulders, to go back to him for a second, are they totally comfortable with that?
Yeah, I would say comfortable. I don't know about totally. Again, we've yet to see it, to be frank, this year. But, there's been maybe a fourth quarter play call or two of the few close games they've had that I'm thinking, oh, boy, that looks a little Carson Wentzsy from 2021 of, we don't want to put the ball in his right arm with the game on the line. So, again, that's probably one of those questions we've yet to see in front of them to a heavy degree. Now, I will say, Steichen – owned is probably too big of a word to use, but you look at his history with Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin, and it's pretty one-sided with what Shane Steichen's offense has been able to do, especially over the last 3 years. And I get that Philly was one of those years, but even with the Colts, he's put up some pretty consistent offensive production. That was with Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco combining last year in that game. So that would be, I think, what you would try to do. But again, try is the emphasis there. They've really been throw to score, run to win. And I know it's kind of a coaching cliche, but if you look at it, they've really been throw heavy early, and Taylor's second half numbers are just through the roof. It's wild what his yards per carry is after halftime versus before half.
I'm doubting if the Colts are going to fill up Acrisure Stadium because it's a 1:00 game and Steelers fans actually go to 1:00 game. I was just wondering your personal opinion or what you heard of Green Bay taking over Acrisure Heinz Field last week, and Steelers had to go to a silent count.
Yeah, it was a little surprising just because, I don't travel as much as I used to, but, I always view that as one of the more intimidating atmospheres in the NFL. I can vividly remember Antonio Brown humping the goalpost after a punt return for a touchdown, and whatever that was, 14 or 15, I'm sure.
He probably humps a lot. Humped a lot.
He's probably still humping goalposts wherever he is, Kevin. Let's be honest.
Well, he humps, whatever.
The list goes on and on. CBS receipt of things he's humped, probably. So, and really the Colts have played in LA twice and Tennessee once this season. Well, Tennessee's a party atmosphere, and, the LA, fans are probably more of a road atmosphere. So I have actually kind of circled this a little bit of like, all right, it's different from a road atmosphere, but obviously I watched Sunday night and was surprised to hear that. Now, granted, the Colts just went through a home schedule last year of Lions, Bills, Steelers overtook Lucas Oil. They had one more of those fan bases that just overtook it, but maybe Bears from a driving standpoint. So, the Colts did that last year. So, I do think it's one of those games where if Indianapolis can jump on them early, maybe the towels turn into booze.
Ain't that the truth?
So, that would be something I think would be key. But, obviously.
You might hear fire Tomlin if they fall down 10-0. They're very possible could be a fire Tomlin chant. Very possible.
Yeah, the natives are restless, Kevin. So things are very tenuous here in Pittsburgh. I want to go back to the texture of the schedule that you talked about for the Colts and how, I don't want to call it a soft schedule to start the year, but they've been lucky, right? The Dolphins, Tennessee, who's just a disaster this year, the Raiders, the Cardinals, Tennessee again this past week. Down the stretch, you mentioned the trip to Kansas City after the bye, and that'll come after the trip to Germany to play the Falcons next week. And then 4 divisional games. You got both against Houston and both against Jacksonville, 2 teams that are really hard to figure out what the hell they are right now. So is there a bit of the fan base that might be holding their breath saying, well, this is a great start, but let's see what happens in the final 8 weeks. And maybe not waiting for the other shoe to drop, because it does feel really positive in Indy right now about the way things have started, rightfully so. But is there a portion of you and maybe the fan base that are looking around going, okay, this is great, but let's see?
Yeah, I think you could probably answer both. Like, they have answered emphatically everything that's been presented to them so far. I mean, look at their point differential. Like, teams don't blow teams out to the level that the Colts have done so far this season. They did not have a single 20-point win any of the last 3 years. They already have 4, and we're at week 9. So that is astonishing. Having said that, someone said to me earlier this week, have they answered all the questions? Well, no. I mean, they've answered all of them presented to them, but like, they haven't answered all of them. And, you know, you bring up the schedule and laid it out pretty well. Like, 5 of their next 6 games are outdoors. You know, I mean, that's just kind of a different thing. Obviously, some road games in there. They'll go to Germany next week. But, like, you know, at Pittsburgh, at Kansas City, at Seattle, they haven't had that yet. So, again, LA and Tennessee to me aren't real NFL road environments. So, you know, I think that is something, you know, AFC South PTSD potentially. Tennessee and Jacksonville have gotten off to great starts in the last few years and then wilted. You know, Houston hung on with 2 hands on the steering wheel to win the division last year. So, you know, 17 weeks is a grind. And again, I would say largely, they've had some injuries, but largely they've been a very healthy team so far, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. So, you know, those would be those questions. But, you know, overall play offensively, I mean, they're doing historic things, franchise-wide, league-wide, which is saying something considering the offenses the Colts have had and obviously the NFL as a whole.
I know the Colts had some internal issues last year, I guess. How does Steichen turn this around so quickly?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's one to maybe, you know, it's hard to put the full pulse on it. I think there's a little bit of like, yes, they added some new people, and not that Daniel Jones is the most vocal, but they added, you know, Cameron Bynum on defense from Minnesota, pretty vocal guy. Travaris Ward has played a ton of playoff games. They obviously changed defensive coordinator in Lou Anarumo from Gus Bradley. I think stylistically, it's much more of an aggressive unit. It hasn't been perfect by any means, but at least that's led to some playmaking there. And I do think there was an element of like, all right, you know, we're in the longest playoff drought this franchise has experienced in 30 years. It's one of the longer current ones in the NFL. Like, let's get our own act together. And again, I know it's a little cliche-y, but like, I do think there is some of that. And I think your quarterback matters. And there were some Monday through Saturday questions about Anthony Richardson. And I think this year they have a Monday through Saturday quarterback that is front of the room and, you know, taking all the notes and doing all those things. And on a Friday night when it's your one chance to get away in the NFL, him and Shane Steichen are front row at a Butler basketball game together. Like, those two are just 2 football nerds that eat it up. And oftentimes, and this goes back to what I said earlier about Steichen kind of getting the best of Tomlin and Austin over the last few years, I think for the most part, the Colts are playing chess and their opponents are playing checkers.
Before we let you run, Kevin, I got to ask, just how big of a cult figure is not TJ, but his dad, Tim McConnell, in Indy, especially after last spring's run? We sort of adopted the Pacers last spring since we don't have an NBA team. And like I said, we know a lot of people in Indy, and TJ's from Pittsburgh. And so we watched it really closely. And that night that Tim got up on the panel during the post-game show was peak Yinzer. It was fantastic. So has he are there Tim McConnell t-shirts or memes out there floating around the Indy sports atmosphere? Yeah, from a Tim McConnell, John Halliburton dad standpoint, the Pacers dads really were front and center last year for 2 very different reasons, to be clear. I tweeted out, this is probably about 2 or 3 years ago now. I have a 3-year-old son. At this point, he was probably 6 months. I said, I want Max Bowen to grow up and play basketball like TJ McConnell. That is all I want in life. And then last year, I show up to, you know, a local swimming pool to, you know, teach, hopefully, my son how to swim. And there, sure enough, is TJ McConnell with his 2 boys in there. And literally every Tuesday night, the Pacers didn't have a game. There was TJ McConnell with a bunch of, you know, whatever, 30-year-old dads in there. And I think he was maybe recognized one time in the 3-4 months that we were there. And like, he's wearing, at times, he's like wearing Pacer gear. He's like wearing Arizona Wildcat gear. I think he may even rocked a Duquesne shirt. And I was just dying laughing at like, here's this dude that at the time, it was still the spring, but like, he is about to single-handedly change some playoff games. And, you know, it's just like, yeah, can you hand me the hairdryer? You know, do you have a towel to, you know, get your kid dry before he goes, picks out his sucker and gets in his car. So he is a Indiana legend, to say the least. Well, we'll let you run, Kevin. We appreciate you making the time today. And we're not feeling great about it out here for Sunday afternoon, but we'll see how it goes. You never know. People are not counting on Mike Tomlin getting things together before Sunday, but crazier things have happened with the Colts offense coming in. We'll see if that's something they can do or not. We appreciate it again. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, enjoy it, boys. Have a good Halloween.
Thanks, Kevin. You too. Kevin Bowen of 105.7 The Fan in Indianapolis. Appreciate him taking the time yesterday to chat for just a couple of minutes. They have a hard time visualizing Kaboom any way the Colts lose this game on Sunday. They can't properly wrap their heads around that concept, which I don't blame them given the way the Steelers defense has looked the last few weeks and the way the Colts offense has looked all year.
Yeah, sort of like when the Steelers went into Cincinnati, didn't have any chance of losing that one. Should have asked Kevin if he's having his nipples pierced if they lost.
You should have thrown that.
I didn't even think about
your opportunity there.
I didn't even think about that. How about that, man? By the way, did you see the breaking news of Dolphins?
Couple bits of breaking news.
Dolphins general manager parted ways. Whenever this podcast ends, are we going to put out an announcement? I mean, whenever. 2 years, 8 years, 50 years.
Right.
We mutually parted ways.
Yes. I promise you that someday when we are done doing this, whether it's like you said, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or it's after we're both, we'll have to write it in somewhere in case we both die. And that's what causes the end of the podcast. That in the obituaries, they'll have to mention that we have decided to mutually part ways, the Kaboly+Mack show.
I still think we should change the subject a little bit. Go to some sort of sporting goods stores and make up some jerseys.
Like Kaboly+Mack jerseys?
Yes!
I would want them to be in like the 80s, early 80s am pipe style, though. Like the mesh ones where the holes are way too big. Yeah. You remember those?
You know what you're talking about. Look at my face masks in high school. Of course I remember that. We used to have those.
Yeah, those were our practice jerseys.
In
high school.
And wear a girdle too.
Yes.
But yeah, we should get something going.
Well, not to spoil any things we may be working on, but maybe we know a clothing company.
I don't. So if you do, you're keeping me out of the loop.
What are you talking about? We were just sending emails with somebody this morning.
Oh, honestly, I don't really think they're going to make our podcast freaking.
Hey, never hurts to ask. What do I always say? What's the worst thing they can say? No?
What you always say is, can I have, please, free?
And who says if it's free, it's me?
Ron Cook.
You.
Nah, it's Ron Cook.
Well, no, it's also you.
The great Norm Vargo used to say when he used to get free stuff at the Steelers, I have 2 kids.
That was a big Cookie thing, though. to give the old if it's free.
I saw somebody at Walmart last night recognize me from the Pomp Show, and he asked me about Cook. If I ever talked to Cook, and I'm like, it's the first thing I thought of.
Cookie is so happy to be retired and not have to talk to anybody.
Yeah. Well, I text him and he won't text me back. So
no, because he doesn't. He
even comes up here to town and he won't tell anybody. So it's kind of
he's clandestine now. I bet he's got lady friends up here who he visits.
He got lady. Well, he probably just comes up here for the free meal somewhere.
Thanks to the Dan Heck team for supporting the show. We appreciate them. HeckTeamHomes.com. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Pittsburgh area, HAECK. HeckTeamHomes.com. The whole team waiting to help you. I know it's not typically something people think of a lot during the holidays, but if for some reason you're looking to buy or sell a home, now's a good time to do it. Might have a good market on your side. Talk to the people that know best. The Dan Heck team. HeckTeamHomes.com. HAECK. We appreciate them for supporting the show. The other bit of news, in addition to Chris Greer getting fired, the general manager in Miami.
Mutually
parting ways, whatever. Mike McDaniel's going to be next, by the way. There's no way he lasts.
They already said that he's safe for the end of the year.
We'll see. Deshaun Elliott officially listed on IR now. Is that right?
He's done. He's out for the year.
Do we know it's for the year? I mean, technically, couldn't he come back?
No,
in 4
typically
weeks?
when you have ACL surgery, it's
Oh, the ACL surgery is happening.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
he's pretty much done for the season. Who else?
You ever watch the
Tilbrew
show The
done for the
Wire?
season. Equale's looking like he's done for the season. So
Yeah. Well, Ekawale, I mean,
let me tell you something about Kyle Duggar, though. He must come from the Belichick tree because he said about 4 words yesterday.
I mean, I don't care.
He say anything.
I'm fine as long as he goes out there and plays. If he can effectively replace Deshaun Elliott, he doesn't have to say a thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you because the longest, well, he showed up literally 6 hours before that and
Right.
showed up on campus. So maybe he's just getting used to his surroundings. But yeah, he wasn't very vocal yesterday. So
Well, a
we'll
Deshaun
see.
Elliott ACL is definitely. Did you ever watch the show The Wire?
He's widery. No.
No. Never mind.
I have no
you're not
idea
gonna
what
get
The
the
Wire
reference
is.
then. You don't know the show The Wire
Oh, who's in
about
it?
the cops in Baltimore and okay, never mind. You're not going to get my Senator Clay Davis reference then. No. Shit. That's my reaction to the Deshaun Elliott ACL surgery.
That's Casey Hampton. Shit. Who will be at the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday for
they're doing a big thing for the Super Bowl 40 team, right?
Yeah, Ben's going to be there. Tommy Maddox is going to be there. Chuck Batch is going to be there.
Nice.
Willie Parker's going to be there. Jay Peasy's going to be there.
I can't believe that's been 20 years. That's insane.
20 years. I remember it snowed like hell the day before in Tennessee. Detroit.
Yeah,
What
those two are right next to
what a
each other.
miserable city to have it. I literally stayed out in what's that place called? Pontiac.
2 of the last 3 Steelers Super Bowls have been in terrible locations, terrible weather. The Detroit one and the Dallas one when there was an ice storm the week of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Tampa was cold early, but there's some strip clubs there, so people.
What? Excuse me?
Oh, ask Ken Laird about that.
Oh, Kenny was an aficionado back in the day.
Kenny Laird, him and Barker. People get strays now, baby.
Oh my God. Let's make some picks before we wrap things up, okay? Real quick before we make the picks. Shout out to our guy TJ the DJ. TJ the DJ got a whole story written about him in the Post-Gazette today by Noah Hiles, and even did a little Chris Mack name drop in there. It's a story about how he was the guy in charge of the crowd noise that you would hear during the COVID season.
I love how you throw your name in there, for God's sakes.
I didn't throw it in. I didn't write the story.
Well, you pulled this quote up.
Yeah, of course I did. Had to give TJ some love. So
and go get your nails done at Nail Studio too while you're at it.
Speaking
I was right down there. It was where I got my car, right around there. I should have stopped in.
You should have stopped in.
But you were yelling at me for being a minute late, so I couldn't.
Look, I've learned to deal with you being a couple minutes late, but it really does drive people nuts.
You're acting like I'm sitting here like picking my butt or something. I literally run in the door and pick up the computer and run downstairs.
Mark, you once slept 15 minutes past the time.
One time.
Of a show.
Because I had everything shut off because I was like, whatever. I mean,
whatever.
For God's sakes, I got home at 4:00 in the morning and went to the fan like 2 hours later, then came here and, hey, good job, man. It's like, ooh, you're late.
Well, when you say a time, I just expect you to be there at that time. I've learned over the past...
give or take a couple.
Give or take 25 minutes.
Speaking of that, I only had one car. And coming home from... And I am truly a firm believer of this. Pittsburghers can drive in snow. They cannot drive in rain.
No, I hate driving.
So it took me like 54 minutes to get home yesterday. And the kids... So the wife had to walk to the top of the hill to get the kids from the bus. Yeah. That didn't go well.
Oh, well.
Because I did not anticipate a 53-minute ride home. It normally takes me 25. You Pittsburghers who don't know how to drive in the rain.
Okay. You feel better now?
No, I mean, I'm serious.
I can't explain it, but
Hey,
people
Pump,
know.
I'm going to be on Pump this week, so Brian Garrett Pony. So
What's the problem?
he says I'm not on Pump show. I'm on this week unless Pump, I show up and he says, "Whoa, I overbooked, so go home." We could have Mike DeCourcy on.
Are you hurt about that?
I hear maybe Josh Yohe's making his return to this, maybe potentially.
Really? That would be big.
Potentially.
You mentioned Nail Studio too, so we'll thank them as well for their support of the show. Since we mentioned TJ the DJ, who's part of the action out there. Starting tomorrow, November 1st, their Christmas gift card promotion. In-store only out there on 19 in McMurray, Peters Township area, right next to Juniper Grill in Lakeview Square. You stop into Nail Studio 2 and buy a $100 gift card. You'll get an additional $20 gift card on top of that as well. That's through the end of the year. So the last 2 months of the year, great gift card promotion. They've redone the entire place. You know somebody that wants to get their nails done. They do a great job out there at Nail Studio 2. Nailstudio2.com. That's a Roman numeral. Nailstudio.com. We appreciate them supporting the show as well. All right. Are you ready?
You trick-or-treating, by the way? By the way, let me ask you, so maybe some of the commenters will know.
Yeah.
Do you frown upon sitting outside waiting for trick-or-treaters with maybe a icy light in your hand or a mango in your hand?
That's exactly what my plans are.
I mean, that's accepted, right?
You know the Arnolds. Your boy played baseball with their son this fall.
I did.
I will be up at the Arnolds. They always have people hang out in their driveway and hand out candy. So I will be up at the Arnolds. What's that?
They hand out mangoes to you or some icy light. Why don't you bring them down?
My garage fridge, my beer fridge is stocked with IC lights. So I'll BYOB to their driveway.
I don't have a garage fridge. I had one, but it froze. It wasn't meant for the garage, so it always you have to have a special garage fridge when it's not heated, your garage, because it freezes. So
I've had problems what was it, 2 years ago, where we had the really cold Christmas where it was remember they played the Raiders? It was the Raiders on Christmas Eve,
it was
right?
0 degrees. Kenny Pickett's coming out party.
Yeah, so we keep all the pop and beer out in the garage, and we did have some explode on us because it was so cold. But we haven't had a problem with the fridge and the freezer.
Yeah, all my neighbors have refrigerators in their garage.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, my man.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're waiting
for. Microwaves and stoves and.
Watch yourself now.
I'm just telling them, speaking the truth.
I know. All right, let's make some picks. We both got Baltimore right last night, so we're still tied in our picks competition. Reminder: the loser of the picks competition at the end of the year will have to dye their hair, which.
We can professionally get it dyed because I know.
Oh, I'm gonna go get a Just for Men from Walgreens or something.
Well, Yoey can let us in on that because he always does that. He tells us he does it in his beard. I'm like, why do you, dude? Your beard grows in a half a day. I mean, what's the use?
So whoever loses the picks competition has to dye their hair black, and we'll see how long it lasts.
Very Benzie like you.
I'll probably just shave it all off after.
No.
It's not like I have that much. Anyway, picks. Let's start with the 1:00 games on Sunday. Atlanta, New England. Atlanta is just an absolute. They lost to the Dolphins last week. They're a disaster. So, what do you say?
Atlanta at New England?
Yeah.
I like Atlanta when they play well, but you don't know when they're going to play well.
Right. That's the problem.
So, I mean, you can't be an idiot and not pick Falcons here. But I wouldn't be shocked if they won this game. But you got to go. If you're making picks, you got to pick the Patriots.
New England. Yeah, I'm with you. Chargers at the Titans.
Chargers at the come on. My saying is that the Titans are by far the worst team. You know what? Ohio State very well. I always laugh at some people who say that the college team could beat a pro team.
You think Ohio State could beat
the
Titans?
Could. They very well could.
Wow. So you're taking the Chargers even though you hate them?
Yeah.
I'm on the Chargers too. Bears at the Bengals. Oof.
A lot of drive time. A little drive down the street there.
That's
Bears
not
at
that
the
close. It's really
Bengals.
not that close. I bet that's
Flacco's not playing, so I'm going definitely Bears.
I think I'm going to go Bears also. Jake Browning has been a disaster. Niners at the Giants.
Well, let's see how good Scatterboo. And by the way, how the hell is Scatterboo? Not Scatterboo. Jackson Dart, the AFC or not the AFC, the Offensive Player of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
When you got a guy like Ty Warren, I don't know. Whatever.
That's really that's your gripe.
No, I don't think Jackson Dart's any good, and I think what I'm saying is Scatterboo out. He's going to be exposed more now, so I am not picking your New York Giants.
I like the Niners too. I think Jackson Dart's going to be really good. I think he's already been good in some ways. I think he's only going to get better.
He doesn't need Tyron Tracy next to him. All
right, Broncos at Texans.
Broncos at Texans. I'm going a little bit of a shift in this one.
Okay. You hate
Denver
the Broncos.
Played so well last week that I don't think they're going to be able to replicate that. Texans are coming on. Give me the Houston Texans.
All right, give me the Broncos. They're just yonkos.
You've said that 6 straight weeks now.
Because it's a great reference. Come on, it's Cope. Vikings at the Lions. McCarthy probably back under center.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against the Lions. They just look good. Jared Goff is one of those low-key potential Hall of Famers. I said it here. He
could be a Hall of potential Hall of Famer?
He's trending in that.
If he wins the Super, I'll give you this. Yeah. If he wins a Super Bowl in Detroit,
what's that?
I think you've got a case.
Yeah, I think he's trending towards that. So I like the Lions.
Yeah, I do too. We don't have a lot of different picks this week. Carolina at Green Bay. I am not picking the Panthers again. I'll just say it. I screwed that up last week. Got out of
Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go.
All right, we're both on the Packers. Jags at the Raiders.
There's 2 bad teams right there.
I don't think the Jags are as bad as they looked last week.
Every time I pick, I thought the Raiders were going to be good this year.
Yeah, you did. You thought they were a playoff team.
I don't like the Jaguars at all.
Make a pick.
One of us have to actually think outside the box instead of picking chalk like you do. So give me the Raiders.
All right. I got Jacksonville. Saints at the Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, the Saints.
Who's even quarterbacking the old man, Tyler Shuck?
That's a good question.
I think he is.
Does it matter?
No.
Chiefs. This is a big one. Sunday afternoon. Chiefs, Bills in Buffalo. What do you got?
Chiefs and Bills in Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bills. No reason.
I got the Chiefs. I think it'll be a good game, but the Chiefs are coming on, and this is where they start to step on the gas. I don't know what will happen in the playoffs if they meet there again, but this time around.
I'm just glad to see Chiefs play a tough game away from Arrowhead, Gayhoff Field, or whatever the hell you call it.
Gayhoff Field. Seattle at Washington.
Get it? Seattle, Washington.
Yeah,
Seattle, Washington.
Yeah. Seahawks and Commanders.
Seahawks tend to play well on the East Coast. Kind of strange. And what a disappointment those Commanders have been. So I'll go Seahawks. Coming off a bye. Oh, yeah.
Hate that we're picking so many games similarly. Arizona at Dallas.
Kyler Murray's iffy, huh?
Yeah.
I think Dak will have bounce back in a big way. Give me Dallas.
Shit, I got the same thing. I was going to say Arizona just to be different, but yeah, I think the Cowboys.
Yeah, you're not going to do that because you're trying to not.
We're even. I'm not trying to lose a lead. We're even in picks. Okay. last pick. I'm not cheating. I write everything down. The pieces of paper are right here for you to examine if you'd like to come
That's
over and
some
examine.
really bad Post-it notes. Was that pink?
It's like an orangey pink. Yeah. There's actual pink ones too. Like I got all colors of Post-it notes. My wife gets pissed. You leave Post-it notes everywhere. What's wrong with you? Right on your phone.
It's almost like going. It's almost like going on social media and saying, "You believe my wife put up a Christmas tree already?"
Well, that is ridiculous, by the way. Can you? I mean, seriously, like it's fine. My 12-year-old loves Christmas. We did it early for him a couple years ago because he had surgery and he was going to be home for a couple weeks. We're like, okay, we usually wait till after Thanksgiving, but we'll do it early. And then it keeps getting earlier and earlier and earlier every year to the point where she's having me drag the Christmas decorations out yesterday, the day before Halloween.
Oh, as long as she does them, what's it to you?
Yeah, it's true. As long as I can sit on my ass and just watch them decorate, but I know it won't be that way. I'll get dragged into it. All right, last game of the week to pick. Steelers hosting the Colts. What do you got, Kaboom?
Although I
think
the Steelers do. Either though I do think the Steelers have a fighting chance. I'm not picking them. I just can't.
Ooh, okay.
Give me the Colts.
Although
I would not be shocked if the Steelers win this game, but I can't pick them.
Okay, give me a score.
Oh, like 62-61, something like that. It's probably going to be in the 30s. 36-31.
Oof. I got the Colts 31-26. So
hey, the Colts defense kind of blows, so let's not.
It's not that great. I think Jaylen Warren will have a good day. I think DK will have a solid day. I'm not worried. I said it before. I'm not worried about the offense really that much at all. I am worried about the defense just getting carved to bits by Jonathan Taylor. Like, he may have a massive day. So, yeah, I can't take the Steelers to win either. I got the Colts. You got the Colts. Hopefully, Sunday afternoon. We can do this again after the game, okay?
Oh, yeah. 1 o'clock game, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be up from...
I got the pregame show, game, podcast, story, pomp. Then you'll bitch at me for something. Oh, you were too long in the locker room.
No, I don't have a problem. You take as long in the locker room as you need to write your story, okay?
I'm going to be walking around the darn plan today with the mangoes, I know.
Enjoy it.
I'm going to go regular icy light tonight.
Is there enough houses in your neighborhood that
There's
the kids can just stay in your neighborhood?
There's like 75. There's kids in every single house.
Okay, so you're good. You don't even have to walk up the hill at all.
No, trust me, I'm not walking up the hill. Here's the tough thing is you don't know. Last year that it was only half this amount, so it's hard to make a determination of how many candy bars you should buy.
You know what though? There's a football game tonight too. Yeah, so
the great.
It's a playoff game.
He's going to be down here. I told him to stop by. I gave him a candy bar because Mars is in town.
That's right. Big TJ playoff game.
Ray Fittipaldo is going to be there because I think his kid practices ball down here somewhere. I said, "Come on down, get you a almond joy."
You're not handing out almond joys, are you?
No. The worst one is the Hershey bar almonds. I'm like,
I'm not a fan.
It's gonna get that. No kid's buying.
What's the first candy you steal out of the boy's bag when he gets home?
Yeah, man. I mean, we have a constant supply of Reese's Pieces cups.
Okay.
Because everybody has that. So I might just I don't mind a good Milky Way.
Okay.
I'm a big Take 5. If there's a Take 5 in there, I'm taking 5 of them.
Kit Kats. You got to snag a Kit Kat or two.
Kit Kats are just mid.
What?
Mid.
No. Kit Kats are top of the line. Mount Rushmore of trick-or-treat candies.
You a Three Musketeers guy?
They're okay. They're
Some
not
people
top 4.
You like them or hate them. By the way, you're going to miss Permanis tonight. Isn't your Permanis night?
Usually, but yeah, I mean, it's trick or treat.
Are the kids going to the game or the trick or treat?
No, the boy is trick or treating. The girl is going to some Halloween get together at a friend's house.
Oh my! You better monitor that.
I
went to those as a youngster myself, so
I don't need you adding to my
Well,
anxiety.
just do the ride by.
I got a Life 360.
Get one of those air tags and slip it in her shoe.
I got Life 360. We're good.
I
We're
don't know
good.
what the hell that means.
It's an app. You can track wherever somebody is.
Yeah, I'm quite sure she knows how to turn it off.
No, she turns it off. She gets in trouble.
Oh, who cares?
You turn it
You're
off, you might as
outside.
well be admitting that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Oh, I didn't know. Something must have happened. My friend
Yeah,
did it.
bullshit. Tell your friend not to. All right, enjoy your Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, this is way too long of an episode.
Way too long, but it was good to talk to Kevin Bowen from Indy. It was good to I don't know, air some grievances. Go get some candy tonight. We'll talk to you on Sunday afternoon after the game. Thanks again for joining us here on Kaboly+Mack. See yous.